Present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Two.
Please join us in a moment of silence. You may use this time for your own personal reflection, to prepare for the meeting, or for silent prayer. Thank you all very much. Council members, we have our minutes from the I was jumping ahead. It is time to open the floor for citizen comments on public matters, if there is any. If we have any citizens who would like to make a comment, please come on down to the podium, use the microphone, state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes. Seeing no one coming to the podium, we will go on and close the citizen comment portion of the meeting, and we will move on to our minutes approval. Council members, you have the minutes from the February 27th meeting. Is there any motion to accept as approved or as presented, or do we have any changes?
Make a motion that we accept as
Presented? Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have a second to accept the minutes as presented? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, at this time we get to talk a little bit about some upcoming activities. Jesse Kelly is here with us this evening to talk about the Radford Redbud Festival, which is planned for April and is supported by Nursery Natives. So Jesse, come on forward and please use the microphone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody, and thank you, City Council members, for the time tonight. I'm excited to be able to talk with you about some of the possibilities that tie into the Radford Redbud Festival. I sent a few slides. The one that you see up here right now, these are 10 local or regional bands that will be a part of the festival. There's 10 sets across the day, which are spaced out in such a way where you could potentially see all of the musicians play. We want to have live music on 2 different stages. In addition to the music, food is a big part of culture and a big part of what we hope that the Redbud Festival brings. So we'll have 3 food trucks that are on site. And if we can go to the next slide, you'll see those food trucks. But we also are really hopeful that a good portion of the Radford Farmers Market vendors will be present, as well as some of the other crafts and arts vendors from around the area. So we actually have been pretty strategic about the time by starting and opening the gates at 2:30 p.m. Any vendors, it's the first day of the Radford Farmers Market. And we hope that this can give a boost to the market, perhaps in future years as well, but any folks that are interested that are vendors at the farmers market will have enough time to be able to make it over to Nesselride, where the festival will be occurring. Hopefully everybody in here, most people in here, have seen Nesselride and know what a beautiful venue it is, particularly for music. I think it's the best around. They have a great amphitheater that we hope to bring great music to on April 22nd. So Earth Day of this year will be the inaugural, we hope many years to come, Redbud Festival for Radford. And if we can go to the last slide, tickets are now available right now online, $5 a piece, plus what Eventbrite charges, so it's like $7.16, I think, in total. And tonight I'm here to answer any questions that you have and hopefully make this event as great as we possibly can together.
Thank you very much. Council members, do you all have any questions?
So in doing this, what was your biggest challenge? I know we were kind of messaging back and forth, and thank you for doing this. I know this is a big undertaking, and I noticed the bands are amazing. You did a good job with that. So was there any particular challenge that you're facing or that you faced?
I think I'd have to go back a little bit to talk about some of the challenges. As some of you are familiar with, I presented last year on the tree vote to help citizens or invite citizens to help select a native species of tree. People voted, a lot of people actually, and decided on the redbud. So I think trying to get people involved at those stages actually was more challenging than where we are now. Not to say that there's not lots of stuff to organize and things to still be figured out, but most of those challenges I'm ready to face head on, and I think we've been able to handle most of them pretty well so far.
So how are you manning and womaning the event? Are you looking for volunteers?
We would love to have some volunteer
Okay.
support. And I have a few ideas in that regard. We've reached out a little bit, but that's one thing I was hoping that maybe there'd be an opportunity to talk about, or a way that you all might be able to help support and get some folks in the community that would be interested out there.
Well, I always suggest reaching out to the high school, because the seniors, if they're looking at the ACE program, they do volunteer and community service.
I love that idea.
So you might check in with them, because I know normally about that time, they're all scrambling for projects. So,
I will definitely do that. And if there's a point person that you'd recommend me reaching out to, I'd love to hear who
okay.
that might be.
I'll have to check on that. I'll find out.
Great,
and
thank you.
I'll get back with you.
As far as volunteers, what kinds of things would you like people to do to help volunteer? Like parking cars or taking tickets or?
Those are the two biggest ones.
Okay, I guessed
But
right.
it would be great to have some floaters or
Okay.
folks that are signing up for just a few hours. Like, ideally, those who are volunteering would do that for 2 or 3 hours and then be able to just enjoy the festival the rest of the time. So it's about getting enough volunteers where there can be a little bit of a rotation for those different spots that you mentioned.
Okay, are you, maybe an information table where people can see what everything is? Are you gonna have T-shirts maybe, or?
T-shirts are a possibility. We're
Okay.
hoping for that. That really is dependent upon sponsorship.
I love the artwork, it's very cool.
Great.
Yeah, my favorite colors.
We love it too. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's actually designed by a Radford University student. So
Great, that's awesome.
we also hope that there will be lots of opportunities for the university to, become closer to the community in ways that maybe it isn't sometimes.
When are you all meeting with Joint Commission again?
Well, we're meeting, April 12th, let me look. April 11th. Would you like to maybe come to that meeting and do a little presentation and talk to the people there? Or let me get in touch get you guys on the same email and talk?
That sounds great. I'd love
we
to be
can-
there. 11th is a, what day? of the
Tuesday.
week? Tuesday,
It's at 8:30.
8:30.
I'll send you an email, and we can talk about it. AM,
Find a way.
coffee.
I'll find a way to make that
Bradford
work.
Coffee's got some good stuff down there in the morning before 8.
Awesome. Yes, I'd love to be there. I think I can make that happen.
Yeah, we can definitely put it on the chamber website
Absolutely.
probably,
I
and the
think we can get with
RU.
them. And
Yeah.
I think the other piece, the university usually has some kind of Earth Day festival. I haven't heard any plans for this year, so,
Okay.
tying in with something like that could make sense.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
I don't so much have a question as just that I'm excited for this. It sounds like a great idea and look forward to it, and I appreciate you taking the initiative to kind of get this going, and anything that we can do to help get the word out and get people there, let us know. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it'll be a good time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep, and likewise, I'm looking forward to coming.
I hope to see you there, everybody.
Real quick, how are you doing on sponsorships?
So we really haven't done too much direct outreach for that. I wanted to, after this was on the agenda, I figured I would wait and see how things went here before we did too much of that kind of stuff. So we'll hit the ground running tomorrow, and if you have any recommendations in that regard, I'd be all ears as well.
So I have one more quick question. So it's Earth Day. We've selected the redbud as our official city tree. How else will this festival support that redbud concept? What will be the connection with the redbuds?
Love that question. So we'll actually this weekend be planting the first redbud at Nesselrod. To my sort of quick sweep, I haven't seen any redbuds there. Rural King is likely going to donate 1 or 2 more that will be planted. And I talked to Nicole Hirsch from the Regional Commission today, who also works with Plant Southwest Virginia Natives. And it's very likely there will be a donation from them where they're providing bare root specimens about this tall that would be available for donation. So
Okay.
folks that, came
The
and
folks
wanted-
that are looking to do their Arbor Day, Earth Day planting could get their redbud from you that day.
Yes, and also I add one other thing to that. A couple of the vendors have talked about integrating. As you may know, all parts of the redbud tree are actually edible, including the blossoms, which will hopefully be, really primed at that point. So there may be some dishes out there that have some
You gonna make some
blossoms.
redbud tea?
Perhaps.
Maybe, you never know.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Looking
everyone.
forward to it.
And I'll make sure at the chamber meeting that I get the information out too for sponsorship.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Okay, exciting stuff coming up in April. And then I believe we have some more exciting stuff to talk about. Our friends from Mountain Trotter Arts are here this evening to talk about some plans to reimagine West End Wednesday. Michelle Beal is here, and she's brought her team. So the dream team is here. Michelle, the floor is yours.
I'm gonna.
Oh,
be doing
Kate is the
talking.
official spokesperson.
Michelle's a little.
There you go.
So first off, thank you guys so much for letting us come to speak. We're super excited. As you know, this is Mountain Trotter Arts. We're the representing board tonight. This is our first year changing things up a little bit. In the past, over the summer, we've done a series of 4 concerts, but we've decided that it's going to be best if we just condense down and do one big event so we can really focus in on that day instead. But since we couldn't give up all of our events, we have decided to make this a 3-day event. So we'll have a series of events happening. On May the 12th, we'll have an art exhibit at Glencoe. On Saturday the 13th, we'll have our big festival in the upper field between Glencoe and Colmorgan. And then on Sunday the 14th, we'll have a smaller little event for Mother's Day at the brewery across the road at Longway. So we're super excited for this. We're gonna bring in hopefully tons and tons of people. Last year at Craft and Draft, it was, oh my goodness, amazing. So we're hoping to ride that wave into this brand new event that we're super excited about. We are currently taking sponsors. Michelle is our expert on that. So if anybody is interested in reaching out to Michelle, she is michelle@ballparksigns.com. We're always looking for new vendors, and they can reach out at mountaintrotterarts.com. And we are just super duper excited for this brand new event to hopefully bring in more people to the area and just kind of show off all of the really cool stuff that Radford has. So,
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Council members, do you all have any questions?
Yeah.
Oh, I know, I was going to say I would bring this also to Chamber, but I know that Michelle will be able to twist arms as well as anyone else. So I'll just let her handle that part of it. So kind of the same thing, I know, it used to be the West End weekend, or
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about what precipitated the change and
Yeah,
what
so
you're thinking about?
honestly, we're a small board. Doing 4 events throughout the summer is a lot, particularly free events that have alcohol for sale, lots and lots of moving wheels. So to make sure that we're doing the best that we can do for the community, for our vendors, for our bands, we're focusing in on this one event, and that'll hopefully be more lucrative for our vendors as well as for Mountain Trotter Arts.
You guys also leaning on volunteers for assistance?
To a point, yeah. Carol's our designated volunteer folks.
I've got a whole list of people
Yeah.
that have volunteered with us through the years. What is this, our 9th year?
This is our 9th year doing
Our 9th year
Yeah.
doing it. We've got some people who have gone through the ABC training so they can pour alcohol, they can, check IDs.
Usual suspects?
the
Yep.
usual
The
suspects.
Yep.
usual suspects, they love it.
Yep.
Yeah, they look forward to it, so, yeah.
So just let me ask you, what was your guys' biggest challenge in doing this? What are you finding?
Excluding Lori, because she's been doing this forever. We're relatively newer to the full planning process, and to say there are lots of moving wheels is a bit of an understatement. And it's just making sure that all those wheels are moving in the same direction, nobody's clogged up, and just that everything is in order and that nobody's going to be arrested for alcohol license issues. That's just
That's
goal.
really important.
Yeah.
We're glad to hear that.
Oh, of course.
As you guys know, I have stepped down as executive director for Mountain Trotter Arts, and I'm sure you all know that Michelle Beal and Kate Ray have taken over those roles as executive director and president. Just to follow up with what Kate was saying about some of our biggest challenges, we don't really qualify for a lot of grants, and that is really unfortunate because we are such a small board. Our festivals are only one day, and with our sponsors, we're barely making do, and that's a big reason why we're moving over to West End Weekend. We have so many people that support us, especially artisans and people of the local community, that we're really very thankful for that. For instance, Craft and Draft, which is what West End Weekend is going to be based on, with inflation is probably going to cost us about $15,000 this year. With West End Wednesdays, we were spending thousands of dollars per event, and we were barely breaking even. So we are really sad that we're not able to provide this for the community, but we are really excited that we know that Craft and Draft works, and we're really hoping that West End Weekend will be a great substitute for our Wednesday events. Plus, this will give people an opportunity to go, do trivia at Longway, and a lot of people like to go to church on Wednesdays. So this 3-day weekend is going to be very exciting for us.
Very cool. Any other questions?
More thing before we move on. One of the things that we're excited about possibly doing this year that's new is partnering with a local florist and having single stem flowers to sell for fundraiser. Portion of the proceeds we are planning to give to the Women's Resource Center. They need a new
that's
front
good.
door. Apparently, it's gotten kicked in or something. And so we would like to partner with a local florist and sell these and raise money. Kids can give them to their moms because it is Mother's Day weekend. And, we like to inject some new ideas into each event that we do, so.
And that, the idea with the flowers too will be all weekend. So we will have
Right.
them at Glencoe. We will, for their event on Friday, we'll have them for our event. And then we'll also have them, of course, on Mother's Day at the brewery. So,
That's right.
and whatever we come up with that whole weekend goes straight to the Women's Resource Center.
Well, individually, you guys are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
So partnering together, I'm excited. I see nothing but opportunity, so.
Let me add one thing. We've been meeting every week
Every week, just about.
for
Well, it's
6
okay.
weeks.
They're doing great
I look
in this
forward. I
role.
look forward to these meetings. It is so much fun, and we've got a couple other people on our committee and a couple other people on our board. It's just a great, fun, high energy group, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you guys for taking it on. Again, we are saying, I know it's not a small undertaking to do this sort of event. So thank you guys for taking the initiative.
One more thing. So with, I say woo, so I don't mess up and say Weston weekends, or Weston Wednesday instead. So woo. So we also have 4 food trucks. I already have 5 lined up for Craft and Draft, but we have 4 great ones for Weston, for woo. And then we also have our music, which will be great again this year. And we're planning on partnering with the Longway Brewery to do our beers with their beer trailers thing. So it's super exciting, and we're just really hopeful that we can make sure that whether or not we get all the sponsors and all that kind of stuff, we just want everyone to come out. It's free. Come enjoy it. We do this for everybody. We don't make anything off this. We're doing it for Radford and for our community. So come out, please.
On that note, I just want to say, you guys in the past have done some awesome events. They've been very well attended. Craft and Draft was, it was phenomenal. It was huge. So I know it's a big undertaking, and funding can be tough, so truly appreciate doing that for the betterment of the community. I know that one of the biggest things that I hear from young professionals or young people looking to move here is they want things to do. They would like events to go to. I think you guys, taking this initiative, and you have for a long time and continue to do so, it's huge. I think a huge need, a huge want, and so I appreciate you guys. Look forward to working with you, maybe as a florist and also as a council person. So I appreciate the effort you guys put into it.
I did remember one more thing. Sorry, I know I
Keep
wasn't
going.
supposed to
You're
speak.
still up to bat, so keep going.
We do have one more thing. We have Casey Worley with the theater department at RU. High school. They'll be setting up at Woo to sell water, soda, Gatorade, and all that money goes back to the theater department. And then we have someone else that'll set up at Craft and Draft.
Great.
So I have one question. You said that you were having difficulty finding funds and difficulty getting grants. Where are you guys getting your funds from? Because I'm sure this is quite expensive as well. So I know it doesn't sound like you guys charge. Do you charge for a vendor space or like how?
Yes, there's
okay,
a vendor
so there's
fee.
money there.
And then
Okay.
the food trucks have a vendor fee, which is
Okay.
very minimal. And then I do sponsors, so I'm very, very thankful for, I could see some people that I've helped out. The sponsors are great. They really kick butt. Last year, we really had a really good showing with the sponsors, so.
And our sponsors are local businesses
Yes.
and individuals.
Yes.
So if an individual is interested in being either called a friend of West End Wednesday or a friend of Craft and Draft, it's a great chance they get a little bit of free swag and they get some beer tickets.
And also
Easy.
being able to partner too with local businesses and things like that, that can allow us to save funds to go towards other things, and that's also.
Still have the donation area.
We have our donations,
accept
yes, we do
donations.
accept
Donation station.
donations, and yeah,
And we do sell the beer as well.
yeah, and we.
And that's a big seller.
Yeah. swag, we have swags, but we sold out last year.
Yeah, we do have swag, and we do always get a local artist to design those.
Lori made this for our holiday market last year.
It's usually myself or Laura Kinsey that are doing the art. But unfortunately, t-shirts, they're so expensive, and we can't sell them for $30, so we really don't make a lot of money on our swag. But we do have that, and it is a small portion of the money that we see.
And we do put our sponsors and stuff on the backs of our shirts, so that's also a
Carol
perk
can
for the
model
sponsors.
for us. We are always the softest and most comfortable.
We don't skimp on our shirts. Like, if you're gonna get shirts and you're gonna spend that money, get good ones.
Yeah, I agree. You guys always knock it out of the ballpark.
Any other questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you, ladies, for coming out and
Hey,
telling us about
thank
it.
you as well, and thank you for all the years of woo, and we know we're having good events in Radford, and there's lots of good things to do. So thank you all very much, and keep us posted as to the help you need.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, this is our.
Looks great. You could just set it up and leave it here for a little while. That's perfectly fine.
Awesome. You want to pop it right there? I can see it.
Exciting stuff happening in Radford. It's all good. And thank you all so much. This is what we need. Not everything can be directed from the tourism department or from the chamber. And so it's great when individual organizations, nonprofits take on some of these things, and we're appreciative of it. Thank you so much. We do have some proclamations to recognize some significant things this month, and we'll begin with Women's History Month. So Kelly, I believe you have a proclamation for us to consider.
I do. Please consider this Women's History.
Is your mic on?
Oh, no, it is not. Okay. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas American women have played and continue to play critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the United States by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force, as we see tonight. And whereas American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions throughout the country. And whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women have served our country courageously in the military. And whereas American women have been leaders, not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which creates a more fair and just society for all. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching, and study of American history. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Radford City Council that March is designated as Women's History Month, and the council calls upon the people of Radford to observe March as Women's History Month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. I would like to make a motion to accept this proclamation.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you very much. And I would encourage all folks to do just what it said in the proclamation. Let's celebrate the stories of the women in our lives, whether they be doctors and lawyers and presidents and people at the top of their professions, or women who make things happen on a daily basis. I think telling the story of folks that has been untold is really important, and the more we can do with that, the better off we go. So we want to move forward with looking at Emergency Management Professionals Week. How much do we rely on the people who help keep us safe and help manage crises that come up in our area? And so, Jesse, I believe you have a proclamation for us to consider.
Emergency Management Professionals Week. Whereas the emergency management team of Radford and the Commonwealth of Virginia worked tirelessly behind the scenes to create a safer, stronger, and a more resilient Radford in the midst of natural disasters, pandemics, civil unrest, terrorism, and other man-made and natural threats and hazards. And whereas every emergency begins and ends locally. And whereas emergency managers are considered vital public service to and between essential services that assist the city of Radford to prepare for, respond to, and recover from emergencies. And whereas emergency managers develop emergency plans and procedures, organize training, including first responders and community partners, manage, lead, and provide skills and resources to minimize the impact of disasters, work with state and federal agencies to find the most effective methods of disaster recovery to increase safety and security, as well as build business continuity. And whereas the role of emergency managers in creating a safer, more resilient community is more important than ever. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford, Virginia, does hereby proclaim March 19th, 23rd, 2023 as Emergency Management Professionals Week in Radford, and encourages all citizens to honor the City of Radford Emergency Management Team and to recognize their service behind the scenes and commitment to health, safety, and welfare of all who live and visit in Radford. I make a motion that we accept this proclamation, Mayor.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much, and thank you, Jesse, for your work with the fire department, with EMS, and with the police department on identifying some of their challenges as they prepare for emergencies and helping us to be more aware of that.
Well, thank you for your ongoing support, too,
Absolutely.
and that of council.
Absolutely. Okay, we don't have any business on the agenda this evening, old business or new business, but as you can hear, a lot of things are happening in Radford, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through our council member comments. David, what do you have for us this evening?
Just a few things. I'm glad it's daylight when we leave. Daylight savings time to get but advancing on, we do have a lot of things going on right now. Our East Main Street project is ramping up very quickly. We would anticipate that that will be underway just after university graduation in May, no later than June the 1st with some of the smaller things. There will be some inconveniences down there, but it's going to be a really, really good project. We'll be bringing you all an update on that in the next few weeks, so that's coming soon. We've been focusing in on parks. As you know, we've gotten the James Oakley Fields Park, Dobbins Park. Both are near completion now. The fence is going up, the posts are in, the walls are going in for that fencing to help screen the public works area from the play area and the gathering areas there. We're going to be extending that fence on out in the next phase, hopefully before the fall of this year. And then we're moving over to Hodgefield Sisson Park. So that's our next place to do some work and doing some overall sprucing up, paint up, fix up, tree planting, just making things look really, really good and making some improvements there. So we've got parks in nearly every neighborhood, and it's one of the wonderful things about Radford when you have a community with over 60 acres of parks in a community of 9 square miles. That's pretty
cool.
daggone good. So
Yeah.
Glad to be doing that and shout that out to everybody. We have finally, at long last, gotten some order times on our ambulance and our fire truck. The ambulance looks like it will finally be making the assembly line, and we anticipate its delivery in the first quarter of '24, and then the fire truck by the second or third quarter of '25. So both of those are underway. We've had a big team of folks at the fire department working on both of those specifications to meet the needs for Radford for a number of years.
Calendar year, not budget year, right? So
Calendar years, yes, I'm sorry, calendar year. And then April is going to be a very, very busy month with Arbor Day. It is Environmental Awareness Month, so next month you all will, next council meeting, you all have a number of things to approve moving forward as we do fix up, clean up as we move into the spring time there. And then lastly, hope you enjoy the short time tonight. I know I've kept you all very busy with budget, and we've got some more meetings coming up, so that's coming together. I think that's it.
all right, thank you very much. Bobby, we're going to start with you. What do you have for us this evening?
I'm just excited about the things that are going on. Looking forward to the live music. Any live music, I'll be there. So,
That sounds good.
yeah.
Seth, what do you have?
Yeah, I'll echo that too, Bobby. I'm excited about all the things we heard tonight. A lot of good stuff. Again, I know I said it earlier, but I do want to thank you guys and everyone who takes the initiative to get some of these things going. It's huge for this community, and it's really a grassroots effort, and it's appreciated. And anything that we can do on a council level or as just someone who enjoys it level, let us know. Very appreciative of that. As David was saying, I look forward to the renovations at the rec department, at some of the fields, the ball fields. I know we have a couple things in the works that I really think will be nice, good additions, and I'm glad to see that moving. I actually drove by Hodge today and could see where they're working on the dugouts, so good to see some dirt moving there. And then also just wanted to thank Chief Dobson for bringing the new vehicle by. It's a very, very nice vehicle. I know that our officers have a lot of the top-of-the-line equipment, and I know that every single one of us up here cares about the law enforcement officers in this city and making sure that they have what they need to do a job and to do it well and to do it safely. And I know we're looking at some things to even further that, some things that I'd like to see, I'm sure we'd all like to see. And so I'm just appreciative of the chief and all of the men and women who help keep us safe. So thank you for bringing that and letting us see it's a very nice vehicle. A costly one somewhat, but no, it's a good one, it's a needed one, and I'm glad to know our officers are safe when they're in it. Thanks.
Thank you. Jesse, what do you have?
I'm going to keep it short and sweet tonight. My moment
Will you
of
press your mic?
silence- Thank you. My moment of silence this evening was dedicated to Charles Hanston Moore. Even though this has been one of our shorter meetings in a while, we are burning the midnight oil on budget. So I think we all are a little bit, even myself, talked out, which is hard, but we've been doing a lot of that behind the scenes. So again, just thank you, everybody, for all that you're doing and continue to do for our community to make it great. We all appreciate you so much, and I look forward to it. You know, if I'm in town, you see my face. I will be there. So thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you very much. Kelly?
Ditto to everything that everybody said. I'm excited about the festivals and good to know ahead of time so I can put them on the schedule. It's nice to get that information out there because everybody gets a really busy spring and summer schedule, so I'm excited about that. And women do run the world on some level, so I'm appreciative. You guys have a strong team. Not knocking the boys, but we do get it done a lot of the time, so I appreciate you guys. Thank you for bringing the car out, Chief. My kids thoroughly enjoyed it. They had smiles from ear to ear. Thank you guys for doing all the cleanup and stuff that you do. Just storms happen and rain and stuff, and you guys are always on top of it. So I'm always very impressed with our maintenance and all the different departments we have. They just show up and they're there in a second for anybody that needs anything in the city of Bradford. So you guys are very much appreciated. Yeah, so I'm just excited. Happy day.
Thank you. I'll only be about 40, 50 minutes, so we should be in good shape here. I did want to thank everybody for all the hard work they're doing. You know, this takes a team, a full team of our entire community to make things happen, and whether they're people who are volunteers or people who are creating organizations to make things happen, individual businesses, we all need to partner together to try to benefit Radford. So I'm really excited to see some of the new partnerships and some of the things happening. And it is exciting. One of our goals for the city has been to make Radford an entertainment capital for the New River Valley, for the region. And having these types of activities is a draw to bring people into the area and to further engage on a higher level. So I'm excited for that on all kinds of levels. Great music, great food, great fun, great causes, and a really good time all the way around. I'm excited, too, that we're able to invest in things like the police car that we brought out, and seeing it firsthand helps us to better understand as we go through and make budgetary decisions and try to figure out where we're going to prioritize and what we're going to do. We've seen some fire vehicles, we've seen some emergency services vehicles, we've seen some police vehicles to help us better understand it and to really get our arms around it, because it's a little different when you think you just see a line item on a list versus seeing the physical piece and seeing about the safety upgrades and the things that keep our officers and our first responders safer and provide a better experience for everybody involved in sometimes what's one of the worst days of somebody's life. So that's a really important thing, and thank you, Chief, and thank you to everybody who's making that happen. I did want to touch base on just a couple more quick things. David mentioned the East Main project, and I get questioned about that a lot. We've had a lot of good press about that project, and it's a really important thing for the city of Radford in a number of ways. Many small communities like Radford saw a great change in particularly the 80s, 90s, and early part of the 21st century as some of the traditional businesses left town, whether they evolved into something else or they moved overseas or things like that happened. And we were not immune to that. Some of our businesses left when the New River Mall opened back in the mid-80s. And we've still been trying to figure out the right mix. I think us investing as a community in East Main Street, in West Main Street, through our business districts, and looking at places where we can find inflection points to make improvements that we can then partner with private businesses, private building owners, and other folks that are idea makers makes a big difference. So I think you're going to see a lot of improvement. We're doing some addition by subtraction. Some things that no longer serve us are going away. Some things are being repurposed, some things are being reimagined into the best version of itself that it can be. But as I've had a lot of questions, I've encouraged folks to watch these meetings or attend these meetings. Also go to our board and commission meetings. EDA meetings are open, Beautification Commission meetings are open. Come on out and participate in those if you want to know who's doing the planning, how we're doing the planning, how we're implementing these things. We're going to be having those discussions as we go through this process. So there's no secrecy to it. It's just moving it along. And this has really taken us 4 years to get to this point. We started on it a little more than 4 years ago in the fall of 2018 as we had the Department of Housing and Community Development, Virginia Main Street come in and give us some advice based on the comments of our citizens, based on the input of people here. So these are really important things to see happen. Having said that, if there is something that we're not seeing, if there is something that we're not doing, help us see it. Contact us. You have all of our email addresses on the website. You can reach out to us. Obviously, come to a meeting, speak in person. If somebody's got an issue, come to the citizen comment portion of the meeting. If there's an idea out there that we need to explore, help us explore it. You have a council that's interested in bringing out the best in Radford and finding the best possible solutions. We claim no ownership over every good idea, that there's many, many different ways to get to the right answer out there. And we have a lot of challenges as a community, so working together, again, I think we can find some very good things to happen. So if there's something we're not doing, help us know. That also means your neighborhood, too. And I'm going to offer this once again. This last year we had some good neighborhood meetings with some folks. We're wanting to do that again this next year. So if your neighborhood, defined by several blocks or a fairly large area of the city, would like to talk with those of us on council, those of us in local government, you can reach out to me, david.horton@radfordva.gov, or any of our council members. And we would love to sit down and talk with you about what are your challenges in your neighborhood. Are there some things that aren't exactly the way that they need to be, and we need to make some improvements? Are there things we're unaware of? But also on a regular basis, you can let us know. Pothole patrol, trees that are downed and having a problem. Keep us posted. We'll work on it. We're usually pretty quick to get things taken care of. We want people to feel happy about the way the city is going and the things that we're taking care of. We can't fix every problem overnight, but we can get it in the hopper to get it taken care of and work on that. And so having said all of that, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Please keep us posted. We are going to try to schedule a rededication of Oakley Field or Oakley Park and James Dobbins Field so that we can celebrate that community asset and bring out people from the neighborhood so they can see exactly the investment that's been made for their part of the community and the city as a whole. So that'll be coming up hopefully in the next month or so-ish when we get the fence up and everything along that line. Other than that, we can go on and close. And I was a little shorter than I said I'd be, but close. Close. Discipline. I will accept a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion? So moved. Do we have a second? Second. All in favor say good night. Good night. Good night.